Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have a lot of Zelo Pro for you. We have two gentlemen in the office. Chris booked this huge room. I feel like we're about to just like go into a heated, high-stakes business meeting. But we have D-Rey and Matt Bacaling here from Zelo Pro.
What's up, guys?
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Hello. Sorry, I didn't know.
This is the real deal. I have to say, I'm incredibly impressed with our setup. We appreciate you guys rolling out the red carpet for us, and we'll try to uphold our end of the bargain to make sure it's worth it. You know?
Yeah, we'll clean the whiteboard afterwards too.
Yeah. We're gonna write rumors on the whiteboard and send out a cryptic message later. But I'm gonna allow you guys to introduce yourself. You guys have both been on the pod sparingly.
Yeah.
We did some travel stuff when the first time we went to Milwaukee, and then I think of Warrior Wrestling. I think both of you have been on the pod. So Matt, I'm gonna start with you. Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Matt Bacaling, founder, owner of Zelo Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. I think we've chatted at least briefly at some point in the past, but this is the first time in like a formal setting.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having us. Yeah.
Very formal.
I am D-Ray. I am one of the other guys here at Zelo Pro.
You have a title.
Matt gave me a title, but I can't remember. It's like what is that?
He is the director of production and operations. Because D-Ray is the jack of all trades. He really does just about everything under the sun. And it was hard to put all of that into one title and concept. And when asked about what he does, it took a while to explain it. So we figured that at least knowing that he has a role of authority, he helps us out with all things operations day of and leading into it, and then really has a big hand in the production of the show itself. Director of production operations.
Yeah, last time we had you guys on, it was like D-Ray, he's the man of many hats, it's all pro. And that's after that, that's what I've said all along.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so like he said, I have many jobs I do there, and I try to keep everything afloat when he can't do it, or our other partner Gary can't do it.
No doubt about it.
So that's about it. If you don't know me, you should know me.
Get to know him.
Yeah, get to know me.
Our friend Trent, who's a producer at AEW, he just calls it doing Trent things. And that is his version of just like whatever needs to be fixed is fixed.
Yeah.
So it sounds like D-Ray is the master of doing that. So
doing D-Ray things.
Doing D-Ray things, exactly. And the reason why we're here today is because we were graciously invited to Milwaukee Meltdown, and then we're bringing people back up to speed on that and like kind of refreshing people on that, and I'm going to run through that card a little bit, but also it's a prelude into your upcoming show Sunday, April 28th.
Yeah,
correct.
Wrestling on Wheat Street. Back at Joe's Bar.
Yes. So that is the main. That's going to be. We're going to go through the buffet line, but that's going to be the main course.
Yeah.
The salad bar obviously is introductions to yourself, and then we have like just random questions off the top of our head to throw at you. Should I start, Chris?
Yeah, go right ahead. I mean, one of the questions that I want to open up with.
Yeah, do that.
I guess I'll open up instead of you. And I've said this because people have asked me, like, do you know what Zelo stands for?
Yeah.
What's the origin of Zelo Pro? And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the name. It was a name that came from both names put together, and I think it's your son and daughter?
You got it, man. Yeah. Hit the nail on the head. Yeah, so Zelo is a name that my wife Dana actually came up with and presented to me even before wrestling was part of the picture. Just a company name, for example. And when we were going through the process of trying to develop the brand for putting out a professional wrestling promotion, it kind of came top of mind because we wanted to do something different. We wanted to be able to brand ourselves very clearly and easily, and we know that there's not a ton of wrestling promotions that start with a Z, and we can make that Z as iconic as possible. And again, like, we are very family focused for the most part, not always show content, but just as a group of individuals who are running a company, it's very much a family run operation. Started from the ground with my wife and I, bringing in D-Ray, bringing in Gary Hallis. And essentially, so my kids' names are Leonardo and Hazel, put together, got Zelo.
Cool.
People have a hard time still not pronouncing it Zelo, even the talent, which we have to correct them on sometimes, but it kind of comes along with the name and the process of building something new, but I think it's worked out well so far.
Yeah, definitely different. And different can be looked at as a bad thing. I just want to say, as a public service announcement, that different is a good thing.
Yeah.
In anything.
Right.
So people just have a negative connotation on it, and there's no reason why.
Yeah.
And so my question to you is, how would each of you say that Zelo is different from other Chicagoland promotions if you had to sum it up into like a nice paragraph?
For me, and I'll take it real quick, the goal and the mission from day one was to focus on the professional part of professional wrestling. Start from top to bottom. That deals with the locker room, that deals with the quality of show that we put on, that deals with the production. Everything we wanted to do was professional and top notch. And if we were able to at least aim for being perfect at that in every way, whether we hit it or not, we thought we could be really, really good at it.
Okay.
And I think that's something that for starters, utilizing that as a foundation and building off of it is what has propelled us from nothing to being a top contender when you're mentioning Chicago indie wrestling companies.
Okay.
And so along with that came the ability to also take talent that we've known for a long time that may now be people that you're very familiar with. At one point when we had the first show in 2017, that were relatively still up-and-comers, and put them in the ring with people who are established and well-known and names, both in the women's and the men's division, and to give them a platform to succeed. And that was goal number 2, was to be able to take people like Kylie Ray and Pat Monix and Bryce Benjamin and put them in the ring with Tessa Blanchard and John Morrison and Simon Grimm, and let the world see them in a way they've never seen them before, and an opportunity that they might not have seen them in any other Chicago promotion before. So put those two things together, it gives us a little bit of a leg up in being different in terms of our production, different in the way that the shows are being perceived and put on, and then gives our talent the platform to kind of take themselves to the next level.
Cool. Yeah, professional and wrestling.
Right.
Are the two things you mentioned.
Exactly. Get them elevated up to that next level. Just help them reach their goals. They have a level of success they want to reach. Then we'll try our best to help them get there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, so how did you come up with the color scheme, like the bright green on black?
So
I love that combo.
Yeah.
And from the moment I walked in Joe's on Wheat Street, thank you, I try. So the moment I walked into Joe's on Wheat Street, the first show, and you get that like bright green pop with the background being black, like it was all very unique and it looked professional.
Right.
So I really like that combination. How'd you come up with that?
Me too, and it stands out because essentially going along with being professional is the brand, and we wanted to brand ourselves in every aspect of the word. You want to see the color combination, you want to see the logo, and automatically associate that with Zelo Pro Wrestling, and then automatically associate Zelo Pro Wrestling with professional wrestling and a quality product. It had a couple variations in the beginning. I always knew that we wanted to be lime green. Why we landed on that, I'm not really sure. My favorite color personally is orange, but orange.
Same.
And so I enjoy like highlighted colors, neon colors.
We see that on the pink T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So there's hints of that, hints of my personality thrown in there. But like Underground had the orange and black, so we didn't want to go that route, and I didn't want to associate with Halloween per se. So lime green was kind of next in line. And originally the color scheme was actually lime green and like a navy blue, similar like a Seattle Seahawks kind of color.
Yeah.
And like you'll see like the referee shirts are actually blue.
Oh yeah.
And so that was kind of the route that we had started to go because it was different, and that was one thing we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure we stood out. Mm-hmm. We knew that nobody else was using like a bright color, for example, with a blue combination, and it just kind of naturally progressed to black because of our setting. Like Joe's on Weed is very much a dark setting.
Yeah.
And so like the ring we use, they don't have necessarily a blue apron. They had a black apron and a black canvas in the green, but like it looks great together. I mean, you can associate it with DX and see our colors, and it pops the logo very well. And so it kind of just became a natural transition where, we'll still use that blue in different hints, but like the black just works so easily, and people enjoy wearing it, and it's a color that can be utilized very well, and the combination just kind of happened to work out. So it was a little bit unplanned in a way, but at least the green was always there from the beginning, and it just kind of transitioned over time.
Cool. And when I ask this question, I don't want it it might sound like a weird question, but because I think the answer is going to be yes, but the reason why I'm looking for is like the why behind it.
Sure.
So in both of your opinions, let's start with D-Rey. Would you, as right now, deem Zelo Pro as quote unquote successful? Everyone has their own definition, and if so, why?
Yes. Why? Because we haven't stopped running shows yet. Mm-hmm. So the minute you stop running a show, that's basically